Essentially, this country program document covers a 5-year period from 2018 to 2022. It was developed in a very consultative manner, wide range of stakeholders involved in its process over several months, national government, county government. We also worked with UN agencies and a broad range of stakeholders, including community organizations, to ensure that the CPD is really very responsive to the development priorities for Kenya. This is reflected in the strategic choice of the 3 pillars of the country program document. And these are governance, peace and security, inclusive economic growth and structural transformation, and environment, energy, climate change and resilience building.
The United Nations Development Programme country program document essentially reflects, first of all, the vision of the UNDP administrator, Achim Steiner. And he has said that we must leave no one behind, but we must reach the furthest behind first with the Sustainable Development Goals agenda. Kenya's Vision 2030 is precisely about that.
The greater learning from the previous review has demonstrated to us that a more integrated approach to issues of governance, peace and security catalyzes greater progress towards realization of the results that were previously derived or implemented separately.
I think our program previously tended to be more silos. But the way this CPD has been crafted is it has an integrated approach. And it is looking at an area-based programming, such that when you move into an area, you will be able to look at this area as far as what are the governance issues, what are the issues around environment and climate change, what are the issues in resilience, what are the issues when it comes to inclusive growth. The
integration presents a great opportunity to provide contributions to how public service delivery is being realized, especially at the subnational level. So attention shifts from systems, policies and processes which have already been established to a more citizen-oriented public service delivery right at the grassroots level.
The domestic resources are never enough. And also, at times, the resources from development partners is also not enough. And right now, there's more of having those partnerships with other stakeholders to realize our development agenda. That is really in line with the government policy of really trying to tap in to all those resources and also the expertise.
There is great emphasis on enhancing monitoring and evaluation under the CPD. It is important to be able to monitor what interventions that we're doing, to be able to track progress of programs, and to be able to demonstrate results, so that really the development funding that is going to all the programs across the 3 pillars of the CPD, we're able to demonstrate results, we're able to demonstrate value for money, and we're able then to be fully accountable, both in terms of resources, but as well as accountability for results.
We are now ensuring that communications and knowledge management is core to our programming. So we are no longer looking at comms work as an afterthought. For the next 5 years, I'm looking forward to, not just sitting in Nairobi and waiting to hear about reports of program, but actually, being the boots on the ground, getting those stories from communities. And I'm excited that we are creating a platform where we will influence and shift conversations through how we tell our stories. I'm hoping that we'll be able to tap into the digital world because everything now has gone digital. How can we harness the power of digital media to empower our communities? How can we harness the power of digital media to influence policies and other conversations?
Well, the youth and women is going to be the basic package of this. I mean, if you look at the demographic dividend that Kenya, or perhaps all of Africa, is at the cusp of, over 70% of its population is less than 30. And we have to look at issues of marginalization within them. Within them are issues of disability. Now, sub-Saharan Africa loses $95 billion every year because of gender inequality. We are ready to reap that demographic dividend, but you have to empower women in order to be able to achieve that.
In 2016, the UNDP, the region of Bureau of Africa, released the Africa Human Development Report. And what that report highlighted was that, most of the African countries, if you look at even the poverty levels, it's much higher among women. You look at even access to education, access to social services, and even employment. It's actually, women are being left behind in the development process. If we address that challenge, we can actually, accelerate progress on the SDGs. That you need to target the SDGs with the highest spillover effect to the other SDGs. And gender is one of that accelerator for the SDGs.
This CPD really promises a lot of benefits for the communities across Kenya, for the institutions that we work with both across national government and county governments and civil society, working in concert with the donors who fund our programs and other UN agencies and other partners. It's an exciting program, and we aim to ensure that we're able to live up to the spirit of the SDGs, to leave no one behind.